Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Pete on the Beat. In this video I would like to give you a few tips on how to carb cycle properly for fat loss, and besides this we are going to watch some gym footage in order to make the whole video, I guess, more entertaining or more interesting. So before I start with the explications and everything, I would like to point a few extremely important, in my personal opinion, things. So first of all, I definitely do not encourage you to jump on the carb cycling bandwagon. I do not believe this is something like optimal solution for everybody out there. I do not believe everybody out there should consume carbs. I do not encourage you to incorporate some type of carb refeeds or carb days if you do extremely well and you feel extremely well on some type of a high fat, low carb diet, either if it's paleo, either if it's a completely ketogenic diet. So with that being said, I would like to start with the first extremely important thing to pay attention to when you want to do the carb cycling for fat loss properly, and this is basically the selection of the carbs, the types of the carbs that you're going to use. I know I will probably disappoint a lot of people, but the reality is that not all of the carbs are created equal. I know plenty of other people will disagree with me, but this is the reality. Not all of the carbs will produce same or identical results when you eat them. And when we talk about carb cycling for fat loss or doing carb days in order to speed up the fat loss processes or whatever, the thing that I would like to encourage you is to basically pay attention to two extremely important factors. The first thing, pick clean sources of carbs. So what I mean by this is pick carbs that are free of toxins and arsenic. You really don't want to put all of those things in your body because they will most definitely produce some damage on yourself. So pay attention to this one. The second thing that is extremely vital for the fat loss is to choose carbs that will not produce that much of blood sugar spike. You really want to reduce any potential risks of insulin spikes. Those are the most important things when it comes to picking the right sources of carbs. So in order to be more specific, guys, I would like to give you a few perfect examples of carbohydrates that are great choice when it comes to carb cycling for fat loss. So the best carb source you can use, guys, when it comes to doing the carb cycling for fat loss are the sweet potatoes and the yams, hands down. They have the lower glycemic index and they're more of a complex carbohydrates. They contain a lot of fiber and they will definitely not produce that much of blood sugar spike, which will not lead to the insulin spike, the thing that I've mentioned. They're extremely nutritious, and in my personal opinion, you can cook them in many different ways and they're extremely delicious as well. So right next to the yams and the sweet potatoes, the thing that I would like to recommend you is some type of high quality parboiled rice. Why I do not recommend you to use the regular basmati type of rice? You probably already know if you watch this YouTube channel, if you're familiar with my videos. I do believe like the white basmati rice, it is one of the ultimate carb sources money can buy, but in this specific situation I do not recommend you to use this exact type of rice for the simple reason it might produce too much of a blood sugar spike, which will definitely lead to an insulin spike, and this is definitely the thing that you really want to avoid when you try to do the carb cycling thing for fat loss. Use some type of a parboiled rice, high quality parboiled rice, because your body is going to break down the parboiled rice a lot slower than the regular, for example, basmati or jasmine rice. So keep that in mind. The reason why I definitely suggest you to stay away from the brown rices and all that is, first of all, they're extremely taxing to the digestive system. They're too hard to digest. And the second reason is probably obvious. This is the arsenic in the outer part, the outer shelf of the rice. Besides those two types of carbohydrates, you can use some types of tubers, you can use some types of pumpkin squash, I guess. All of those are considered as safe starches, and your body is going to break them a lot slower than others. So I guess they're perfect choices as well. So keep that in mind. And as long as for the whole structure of the actual cycling between the ketogenic days or high fat low carb days and the high carb moderate protein or reduced amount of protein days and no fat, it really depends to what your body is going to respond best. What I mean by this is you can do a day, a carb day, you can do like 2 days in a row, one after another. You can try to do 2 days that are spread throughout the week. It really depends what works best for you. This is most definitely not one size fits all type of thing. I prefer to use high fat, moderate to high protein on like 80% of the time, and as long as for the carb days, I definitely prefer to minimize the amount of the protein that I consume, and I basically cut out all of my fats. But I guess you can do both ways. You can do high fat and high carb days. This is something that I definitely do not encourage you to do. I feel like shit on the next day if I do this. Or you can try to hack your parboiled rice with some form of a MCT. This is another way to incorporate some types of fats on the carb days. There are plenty of ways to do it. It really depends on your personal preferences, and it really depends on what your body is going to respond best. This is basically the most important thing. Pay attention to the way you're going to feel on the next day, and of course pay attention to the way how your body is going to look on the next day. Do not pay attention to what the scale says, because there will most definitely be some water retention, but this doesn't mean you're gaining fat. So yeah guys, this is basically everything I wanted to say in this video. I hope you find it helpful, and if so, you can feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content, or maybe click on the thumbs up button down below, or give me some comments and whatnot. You can also check me on PETEONTHEBEAT.com, that is my website. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up for now. I would like to thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned for more. Have a nice one, and good work with burning all that fat and doing the carb cycling for fat loss properly. Peace.